I think I'll be live for the Eagles and the 49ers. We can have a lot of fun on Sunday. Oh, it's not quite December just yet. No, that's why the Cowboys didn't win. The refs gave them the game. The refs gave them the game. But they're definitely pushing a narrative. The 30th day of November. Oh, it's not quite December. Just wait till December. Same old Cowboys. Same old Cowboys they have up to say. They won because the game was not played in December quite yet. Hours away. Literally hours away from December. Can't make this up. 30th day of the month. Literally that close to, it's Cowboy implosion time. It's December. Craziest thing about last night is that I'm just ordering drinks. I'm ordering food. Just have a good time, just not thinking about the tab as I'm running it, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna watch my fantasy team dominate, see a Cowboys win. Overall, I did well at fantasy last night. Well, Cowboy defense, they were -2 because there were no punts in the game, but Dak had 40 points, which is great. And Brandon Aubrey, he was my kicker. I started the year at the Bengals kicker, but Brandon Aubrey's been money, just extra points, field goals, you name it. But I just ordering food, just have good time, and just without a regard to the current total of my tab as I'm ordering food. And the funny thing about that, last night my total before tip came out to 63, and I wasn't even trying to make it 63 or anything. But anyways, my tab came out to $63, which is crazy. About $63 because Cowboys can be 6-3 in the Super Bowl with a victory, and had no thought about what my tab was going to be. I was just going to order food and have a fun time, and it came out to 63. So I like that. And I did the percentages or whatever. And of course, you have to add on the tip. So $15 tip. I did not even think that the Cowboys are going to now go for their 15th straight win at home, but here they are. $15 tip, I kind of do 17%, whatever, 17, 18%. When I go out, so 63 and 15, that's $78. And Rain Dakota Prescott's Gematria 78. I remember it because I've entered it in the calculator, and Rain Dakota Prescott is 78. And the total came out to 78, and of course, he was the star of the show. It didn't matter if the Cowboys didn't cover or not. It was a very entertaining game. It was scripted to be a close game because, December is right around the corner. Hours away. What? If the Eagles are a fraudulent team, then if they're fraudulent, if they're not the team that's going to bring in all the money for Las Vegas, if that really is going to happen, which, the guy tripping balls on Jalen Hurts like he's the new face of the league. Number one, y'all tripping. This guy's closer to Jordan Love than he is to Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes. Say otherwise, just completely delusional. He's never ever thrown for 4,000 yards. He is a system quarterback. He cannot make the decisions like those other guys can. He can't stay in the pocket like these other guys can. Jalen Hurts is just a bona fide system quarterback. He's a really good starter, but stop talking like this guy is so much better than Dak Prescott, because it is not the truth. It's not even close statistically. Statistically, Dak and Pat are the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year, and Jalen Hurts will get exposed against the 49ers. Now, to Zach James' point, is home field going to be possible? Maybe. Do you build a $1 billion stadium and have no home games during your run to the Super Bowl? But then across the street, there are 3 stadiums together: the old Ranger Stadium, the new Ranger Stadium, and then the Cowboy stadium. All three of them are literally right together in the same area. They can go on the road like the Texas Rangers to win the Super Bowl. Just like the Texas Rangers, they pretty much had to win on the road. By the way, to Zach's point, if the Cowboys do get home field, it'd be 18 straight home wins. So either way, it's win either way. It doesn't matter if they're at home or on the road. Just either scenario is perfect because the Texas Rangers and then the 18 straight wins at home. And they have to get 16 because Dak is 16. It'll be because this year's about Dak Prescott, obviously. You don't say this year is not about Dak if you don't schedule him against the team that he suffered his ankle injury against. The same team. And in New Jersey, Camacho, Las Vegas, Nevada. So it is not a coincidence. It isn't. You just got to step, that sucks. You got to, just be objective, be as neutral as can be. And don't just because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys, just start getting all irrational about Dak Prescott. Just got to see it that it's his year. Well, you live in Canada. It snows up in northern Arizona, like in Flagstaff and Prescott. I've been up there before when it snows, like when literally just nothing but snow outside. And I've seen snowstorms up in northern Arizona. So we do get over here. But yeah, I live in the Phoenix metropolitan area, so it's obviously really nice. And I don't get all these crazy ass people wearing freaking leather jackets in this weather. Well, it rains sometimes, so I wore a leather jacket because it rained last night. But all these people wearing heavy winter coats, these people are crazy. Like, what the hell are they wearing? Like, it's barely cold outside. I don't even have to I can still wear a fleece long sleeve T-shirt when I go out and run during the winter. At literally 10, 11 o'clock at night. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, summers are a whole other story. But we get a little break around the best time of the year, which is Christmas and the holidays. So, Merry Christmas, Happy holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Ramadan, Kwanzaa, you can't forget about that. Happy holidays to everybody. It is that time of year where we get closer to the playoffs. Next year, we'll see a 12-team playoff field around this time. So if we don't get the World Cup, it was awesome. The World Cup, all that Messi's magical run during December. But anyway, we'll get a Winter World Cup in about a decade or so. We'll see where all of us are at a decade from now. But here we are. It is December time. But it was the 49ers, but they get the Cowboys next week. Isn't that a very fraudulent team? They literally gifted the game on Biden's birthday. They gifted it to the Eagles. They literally dropped the bucket on that one. And the refs won the game last week. That horse collar tackle on Josh Allen. Did you see that? How you not call that and call yourself objective? Okay, Kenny. Hey, Kenny. How you doing, Kenny? Bama. That will open the door for the Texas Longhorns. And Washington losing would bust it wide open because you get as many teams with one or two losses. And with Texas, it was a rivalry game. It was a neutral site. So that's kind of how I approach Texas. They don't watch a lot of college ball, but hey, these guys going to SEC, they're probably going to recruit the same kind of players, and they did beat Alabama. I mostly stick to pro. And this Sunday we'll be live to see the fraud get exposed. And now the Eagles are starting to chirp already, which I think is going to play into San Francisco winning the game. They started chirping about making excuses and all that, which they are 41ers. They are crybabies. They've done this for well over a decade since Jim Harbaugh was a coach. It's cry and make excuses. But they'll kind of show, what could have been if they had that quarterback. But then again, at home, they got destroyed by the Chiefs last year. It's completely irrelevant. They got completely destroyed by the Chiefs at home last year. I don't want to hear nothing about if they were healthy, they would have won the Super Bowl because they obviously got exposed by Kansas City. We didn't want to watch a boring Super Bowl. We got the Eagles and the Chiefs. That team got completely destroyed last year. What was the final score of that game between the Chiefs and the 49ers last year? I mean, he was getting yards with ease last year. It was 44-23. Well, 44-23. Nobody wanted to watch that Super Bowl. Let's be honest here. So that's completely irrelevant. But anyways, it is going to be a narrative for this year. But San Francisco has to be hyped up before the Dallas Cowboys shock the world. And this guy be wearing his fuck Dallas shirt watching the Super Bowl. Oh, fuck you guys. I don't get a chance to play the game because I ain't got no quarterback. I don't have a quarterback as clutch as Tom Brady with Dak Prescott in there. Yeah, I would be flipping out too if my coach did not take the right quarterback in the draft. He didn't try to trade for Kyler Murray, which he should have done because Arizona has a quarterback. It's irrelevant if the Cardinals don't have the talent like the 49ers. The thing is, quarterbacks elevate your chances of winning a Super Bowl. On the field and off the field, from a marketing standpoint for the owners. The Cowboys are going to shock the world. All the money is going to be flowing in on the 49ers. Be smart and be sly and don't get caught up with all this. Because they're not paying all these people out driving all the way to California and Las Vegas to place their 49er bets. I'm just telling you what's happening. You got to be real. Las Vegas is going to host the game, and they're not going to celebrate by having to pay out all that 49er money. It's just not happening. It's third time's the charm in the playoffs. You're not watching the same game like I am. The Cowboys were barely even trying to run a regular season defense. They were running preseason soft vanilla garbage from what I've seen. And the game was weird when they did not even try to throw to CeeDee Lamb. Like, what game plan does it involve throwing the ball to your best wide receiver against the best team in the league? So it was weird for the Cowboys to not even try to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb in that game. So not trying to run a good play on offense to CeeDee Lamb and not trying to open up the field and not even trying to run a real defense, but running some soft zone vanilla preseason garbage. No wonder why these guys were wide ass freaking open by 5 yards because all I seen were vanilla play calls. And the Cowboys have no intention of showing the real hand to the 49ers. And the 49ers going to be completely left. They're going to be left off guard. And how you beat this team is you get up ahead, and this is what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do. They're going to get up ahead, and they're going to batter that fraudulent quarterback who is part of a system. And part of it is the credit to Kyle Shanahan, but at times he's had to play company man and not even run the ball in the fourth quarter. What are we talking about? The 10-point lead against the Chiefs and the obviously 28-3. They could have just a running play every game, every play, and use up all 40 seconds of the clock, and that would have kind of made it mathematically impossible for the Patriots to come back. So He's had to play company man. So did Mike McCarthy. They control whatever narrative they want. That's what it comes down to. Now, how does a playoff game from last year have anything to do with this year? Well, Dak did beat Tom Brady. Doesn't he have 20? He's the longest tenured quarterback for one team right now, today, with all these names retiring and with Aaron Rodgers leaving. It is Dak's year. And Dak sat out fourth quarters. He got pulled out of the game. So his numbers could even be bigger than they are right now. But the fact is, he is throwing 2 touchdown passes against the Eagles. He will get number 28 against the Eagles. They win the next Super Bowl 28 years later, be the next NFC champion. And what I think is interesting is Brandon Aubrey going to miss a field goal on the 28th kick because Aubrey is 27. Now that's going to be interesting to see if that actually is going to be a theory that plays out, or if it's just a very good hypothesis. And the same thing with the pick six. If Bland gets an interception, it's got to be returned for a touchdown if he does get an interception. So some interesting things to see as far as the Dallas Cowboys go, especially if it all happens next week. But I think it'll be a tight one because the narrative is still going to be sold that, hey, the barely squeaked by the Eagles at home. Oh, the Cowboys will wait till late December. It is not quite late December just yet. And they be saying it's not quite deep into December is the next excuse for why the Dallas Cowboys keep on winning games. After they said it's because they played on the 30th and it wasn't December quite yet. What's next? And because people hate the Cowboys, they cannot think rationally as far as the Dallas Cowboys go. They cannot. They're not capable of. And I am a Cowboy hater. But I'm just telling you what is going to happen based on reality and being objective. Is that the Dallas Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. You don't have a big year like that for Dak or the kicker or the cornerback, especially since this is a first-year kicker. And this is a player in a second year that was virtually unheard of. These are fairy tales. This is where magic is happening. Is Shaq Leonard going to go to the Dallas Cowboys to beef it up the defense and kind of fill in a role Van Der Esch? Because this guy was a very great linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, and the Indianapolis Colts released him. And he knows Malik Hooker because Malik Hooker played with the Colts and he's on the Dallas Cowboys defense. So I think help and reinforcements are coming. Shaq Leonard, even if it's not playing every game, I thought he was Darius Leonard. I never knew where his name changed to Shaq. But anyway, Shaq is 18. Shaq is 45. The Cowboys is 45. I would be on the lookout for Shaq Leonard to join the Dallas Cowboys. Any help on the defense is great. I think they're going to bring this guy in. He was a great player. He makes tackles all over the place. This high energy, high motor guy, high character guy. It cannot be a bad thing to bring this guy in. The Cowboys need to bring this guy in and get him in a situational role where the loss of Van Der Esch is not going to be felt. And that's what Shaq can do. I realize the Cowboys played already and some teams have buys, but let's see the touchdown leaders. The fraud Jalen Hurts is barely cracking the list, but we'll see. We'll see how he does against the 49ers. But we'll see if Josh Allen cracks if he surpasses Dak Prescott. Tua needs 4 touchdowns to be tied with Dak. Patrick has 21. He needs 5 touchdowns to be tied with Dak. So after this week, Dak is going to be leading the league in touchdown passes. And Dak sucks, and he leads the league in touchdown passes after this week. But he sucks. I'm told he's trash. Yeah. They'll have to they'll have to see it, but it'll be too late to believe it. That's how it's going to turn out. It'll be too late, but definitely the refs will be on the Cowboys side in general. It's like reality TV. You have to make it look like the refs are helping the Cowboys a little bit because they kind of did with some of these pass interference calls. Kind of did help the Cowboys, but that's who they want this year. They want the Cowboys, and Las Vegas says good because the 49ers are going to be insanely hyped if they beat the Cowboys and the Eagles, and this is where the blood is going to come in January, and Vegas going to swoop in and take advantage. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. But everything's very interesting from are the Cowboys going to go the Texas Rangers route to win on the road or get some home games at Jerry World where they're unbeatable, unstoppable, and the haters will still be going against the Cowboys. And then, which week, does he get that pick six for that ninth interception for that six pick six? And when does the kicking streak end for Aubrey? What I said before, Dak is 28 touchdown against the Eagles. So there's a lot of great stuff to look out for as far as the Dallas Cowboys are concerned over these next couple of weeks.